Native Americans might have been given the right to vote in 1924, but 100 years later, they're still fighting to use that right. KX News' Paige Gilmar reports on these difficulties and what Native Americans can do to make sure their voices are heard.
1 million. The Native American Rights Fund says more than 1 million eligible Native American voters are not registered in the United States. In North Dakota, you don't have to register, but every state is different. Although not being required to register in theory should eliminate another obstacle, nonprofit Native Inc. believes for Native Americans, the lack of voter registration is a symptom of voter suppression.
It's extremely important for Native Americans to vote because we're disproportionately represented in a lot of the social economic issues.
The Anti-Defamation League defines voter suppression as legal or paralegal strategies to prevent specific groups of people from voting. For Native Americans, this comes in many forms. In frequent examples, Native Americans have shown their tribal ID only to be denied voting outright because poll workers are often unfamiliar with tribal types of identification.
I would highly recommend that the North Dakota Secretary of State and maybe the North Dakota Native Vote work with voting poll workers to educate them on the various tribal IDs that they'll come across so that nobody is turned away and misinformed.
And because governments offer limited voting resources and infrastructure for Native Americans, many have to travel 50 or 100 miles to the nearest voting booth.
I just think that Native Americans our needs have always kind of been invisible or maybe just not really sought out by some of the leaders that are running.
Native Inc. looks to make those needs seen as a nonprofit that helps Native Americans with social, economic, and health difficulties, and that includes voter suppression. This year, they announced they're offering transportation for Native Americans looking to vote in the Burleigh and Morton County areas. Their care coordinators also help with getting Native Americans who walk through their doors a valid ID.
If people do need help with an ID, then they could just come in and we'll help them. If we're not able to help them, we'll always direct them to a place that can.
Even so, it's important for Native Americans to know what to do when it comes to voting. First, you can vote by mail, vote on Election Day, or vote early. But you need to know where your closest voting booth is, which is determined by your address and can be found on the North Dakota Secretary of State's website. For forms of identification, anyone can either present a North Dakota driver's license, a North Dakota non-driver's ID, a government-issued tribal ID, or a long-term care certificate. However, Native Americans can also present a tribal letter, which is a letter issued from a tribal government that verifies your address, birth date, and name. And no matter the obstacles, Davis says Native Americans will continue fighting.
I think that the Native American community has revitalized itself and is getting more and more involved every year. It seems that we're getting more active, we're becoming bigger advocates, we're learning how to use our voice, we're building confidence, we're building groups within communities that really want to see change. I just think that it's been great to see all the mobilization that's happening across the country amongst Native Americans.
Reporting for KX News, I'm Paige Gilmar.
The North Dakota Secretary of State's website does have a guide for tribal voting, including how to update a tribal ID, among other resources. If you're a Native American who needs help with the voting process, you can contact Native Inc. We've got those resources listed inside this story over on our website.